Well, I appreciate the opportunity of being here and sharing with you a little bit. Like I said, we're going to be leaving tomorrow. You have our contact information. If anybody is interested or knows somebody that might need help with immigration, I'm going to give you a phone number. And because it might be somebody that lives across the street from you. It might be somebody that you know. It might not be a family member, but maybe you know somebody that could use some help with immigration. We have an immigration attorney that can give you free advice. His name is Eduardo. And he's in San Diego, but he can refer you to somebody here in Chicago. And his phone number is 619-994-8143. That's 619-994-8143. It's on our website. But you might say, oh yeah, my neighbor down the street, they have a question. I had somebody talk to me today, as a matter of fact, this morning where we're staying. We're spending the night in churches. I haven't had a chance to spend the night at my house since August 12th. And we're continuing. Because what we do is nothing compared to that person that kisses their baby goodbye in Oaxaca, Mexico at 3 o'clock in the morning to cross the entire country, then cross the border, then come into this country thinking the streets are paved with gold. They're not paved with gold. There's less people coming today. Less people coming today because of the fact that there isn't any jobs. The number one reason people come is jobs. One of the new waves, I'll get to your question in a second, one of the new waves of the people that are coming are people escaping that violence in Mexico and in Central America. That's a new wave of people. That's part of the reason that we're on the caravan for peace. Yes?
This is not only Latinos or Mexicans that come across the border.
That's right. It's not just Latinos. Of the 11 million people that are here, that's a very good point. Of the 11 million undocumented people that are in the country today, about 30% of them are not from Latin America. There's people that come from Europe and from Asia and from Africa and other parts of the world. Now, normally, if you're from Africa and you're trying to escape that poverty, you would probably go to Europe because it's a lot closer. If you're from Asia, you might go to another part of Asia. If you're from South America, maybe you go to Brazil, some of the richer countries in the area. It's not like they're coming to the United States. People aren't coming here because it's the United States. People are coming here because this is where the opportunity is if you happen to be nearby. And there's exceptions. There's people that do come from other parts of the world to come to this country. But if for example, like I said, I'm Mexican. If Guatemala were the rich country and my family were escaping the poverty, which was not the case, we're a poor family, but we weren't as desperate as some of these other families, I'm sure my family would have gone to Guatemala. Would have been a lot easier. Same language, same culture, same religion in general. So those sacrifices that people make are incredible. I was in Chiapas, which is in southern Mexico not too long ago, and I was giving a speech about how those people now aren't just coming from Mexico, they're coming from other parts of the world. And sometimes that person not only is risking it all, but the trials and tribulations of the crossings and how dangerous it is. So this woman stands up in the audience, and she goes, I'm from Honduras. My name is Marjorie. And I was coming to the United States. But I was going to go through Central America, then go through Mexico, then cross into the United States. But I never made it. I barely crossed the river from Talisman, Guatemala to Tapachula, Chiapas. I barely entered I woke up in Mexico, whatever. All of these things happened to me in Central America. She's from Honduras. And I go, well, what happened to you? She goes, I was raped 20 times. I was raped 20 times. The woman's like 20 years old. I go, what? She goes, I have a baby named Diego. So, she was 15. And all this, I'm going, this is unbelievable. She goes, when I woke up in a hospital bed in Tapachula, Mexico. And there was a woman looking over me, and she says, you're home now. I'm going to take care of you. Her name is Olga. But she's a real saint. She's like Mother Teresa. She's got a shelter down there that takes care of people from Central America. Many of them that have lost their limbs on the train. They hop on this train to go through Mexico. And there's these gangs on the trains, and people get pushed off the trains, and they lose their legs and their arms. That's what that shelter is all about. And Olga runs this shelter. So sometimes it's a physical situation where they lose a limb. Sometimes it's, or get raped. Or sometimes it's a psychological trauma. So she works with those people. We help sponsor that shelter. We also sponsor 2 shelters in northern Mexico. One in Tijuana called Casa Refugio Elvira, which we established with Elvira Arellano, that's from Michoacan, that lived in Chicago for a long time, got deported. And the other one is called Hotel Migrante, which is in Mexicali. So we sponsor those shelters because people want to help. There's a lot of people that want to help, but they don't know how. And that's why there's a lot of causes out there. Like the elderly, the homeless, the migrant community. And that's that little spark that I saw, that spark that got into me back in 1986 when I was in those canyons. I said, we need to do something about this. So you might be thinking, I kind of like to do that. I didn't know what I was going to do when I got out of high school. I did pretty good in sports and in school, and I got a full ride scholarship to the University of San Diego, which is like DePaul University is the Catholic university in town. Then I ended up in baseball. But I didn't know what I was going to be, what I was going to be. And I didn't think I was going to be doing this long. When I started the Border Angels, first of all, we weren't called Border Angels. I thought it was going to be 1 year. It's 26 years later. And there's a real need. There's a real need for these types of organizations all over the world, not just here. But you're right, people aren't just from Latin America. They're coming all over the country. They're crossing borders. The comment or question somebody might have? Well, thank you all very much. Muchas gracias. You have my contact information. If later on you have a question or a comment, you can email me, maybe some personal things, and I'll be happy to help. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The reason I brought this cross is there's a cemetery in Imperial Valley, and there's a picture of that cemetery in the middle of your brochure, and there's 700 unidentified people buried in that cemetery, people that have died crossing the border, that nobody knows who they are. So we go there every month and we put these crosses. This one says no olvidados, not forgotten. And a blind woman actually gave me this cross. So the words kind of run together. So the people are not forgotten, even though they're not identified. They're not forgotten. So what we want to do is, you all know how desperate you might be when somebody's missing, maybe your little brother, sister, whatever. Well, these people want to know, they don't know what happened to them. There's 10,000 people that have died, about 3,000 are unidentified. Nobody knows where they're at. So we go there and we do this. We do the crosses. These crosses, this was made by a woman that lives in Imperial Valley. But the other day I had a group from the University of Maryland. It was a Jewish group. And their tradition, they do stones. So you go to that gravesite today and you'll see a cross where it says John Doe, an identified male, and a stone. And in Hebrew it says, not forgotten. Two of the world's great religions with the same pain.